I had a I sat down for a while and thought about my top 5 favorite movies of all time, and I came up to a concrete list. And as I looked at it on paper, I realized my top 5 favorite movies are so like anomalous to what I typically enjoy in general about film.
Okay.
You know, like I'll say this: my favorite genre of film by a large margin is horror. I love horror movies,
Okay.
but there isn't a single horror movie in my top 5. So it's weird. Like I
It's
just
a
looked at my
different artistic.
yeah.
The separation of recognizing art and guilty pleasure and like.
Well,
just
no,
you
none of them
enjoy
I
things,
would
maybe.
none of them I would consider guilty pleasures in my top 5, except for one. But which I'll get in. I'll tell
It's
you
the
what they
difference
are in a
between like
second.
enjoying things and then your list is
Well, it's just
respective pieces of work.
it's just interesting that the 5 that have bubbled up to the top of my
Okay.
favorite.
Well, what are the 5?
Okay, so number 5 is James Gunn's Super.
I've never.
Okay.
Oh, like
Super with Rainn Wilson.
Super, just super.
Yeah, it's just called Super. Rainn Wilson, Elliot Page.
Oh, Elliot Page. I do remember
Movie's
that one.
fucking bananas. This is a movie that could not exist right now. It could not be made ever again.
I
Something
don't
like
remember
it.
anything
There
about
are
it.
elements to it that are like pretty dated and problematic. You know, that's not why I say it can't exist right now. It can't exist right now because it is such a fucking passion project. The pacing is very strange, and the movie is all about it's a character study about a character that isn't really interesting, you know? And it's like
That is interesting.
it's
though.
so
That is
fascinating. It's just basically like super cute, super indie movie mixed with grindhouse action. Like literally like Juno meets fucking I don't know, The Punisher. Like it's so weird. But this movie is just a super like what is the word? Oh my god, what's the fucking word? A very
That word.
extreme, like just shameless, like fucking watch this crazy shit happen, hilarious, blah blah, bloody, gory. But then there's a couple of scenes in the movie that just like set it apart from anything like anything else. There's a beautiful like screamed monologue from Rainn Wilson who like he just talks about like these are his values in the world. He becomes a superhero, becomes a vigilante, but he just is a dude in a latex red suit beating the shit out of people with a wrench that he deems worthy of being beat
Is
with
that
a wrench.
number 1 or 5?
That's 5.
Okay, what's 4?
Okay, great film. Elliot Page is fucking electric in this movie. You cannot. It's perfect. But that's 5. 4 is Darren Aronofsky's Mother.
Oh my fucking god.
That is a horror movie. So yeah,
That is a horror movie.
Yeah, that is one.
Jesus Christ.
that movie
That
fucks.
one's really intense.
That's a rough watch, dude. Like that is a rough watch. That's almost on Requiem for a Dream, like, of his. But I love that movie because it is simultaneous. It's so fucking critical of Abrahamic religion. It's so obviously like what the fuck, and like, but it comes from a perspective of a frustrated believer almost. It's not so like Reddit r/atheism, like, it's so genuine and it's so honest and it's brutal. Like this movie's fucking brutal. Also, pacing is amazing, visuals are amazing. It's just an impressive film, like with its acting, what they were able to do, and the amount of terror, like genuine terror.
Javier Bardem.
Javier Bardem, perfect in this movie. Jennifer Lawrence, perfect. But the fact that they were able to conjure that much terror in such a quaint, like, scope for the most part. At the end of the movie goes fucking ballistic. Like there's insanity.
The end
But
is the
like,
most-
no, and it's just
memorable.
it's a beautiful like human condition movie. A beautiful
Human condition's
the
a good way
human
to put it.
condition
That's a good
metaphor
way to put
movie, but not in a way that's too preachy. It's
And not in a way that's too in your face.
yeah, no, it takes
I mean,
a while
it's
to
pretty
think
in your
about.
face, but it doesn't feel like it's being thrown at you out of nowhere.
Yeah. No, and also like it's a story about the human condition that places more emphasis on the Earth itself, the physical Earth, than I've ever seen
Really?
a thinking movie like that do.
I felt like it put more emphasis on the literal interpretations of religious texts in some ways.
Oh no, yeah, no,
More
that's
so
the
than it
main
did
point.
I feel like it took away and went into the spirituality in the other realms more than it stayed on Earth.
No, what I mean is that more so than other movies like it covers that. It covers that aspect about the environment, Earth. You know, because I think about like Jennifer Lawrence's character represents Earth. This whole movie is like an avant-garde allegory story. There's not like a clear plot with characters. Essentially, it's like you watch this married couple. That one interpretation of the film is that the wife is Mother Earth, and the husband is God, and you watch them deal with ensuing chaos in their home, and that's all I'll say. 4 was Mother, Darren Aronofsky's Mother. 3 is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Okay,
We covered that. I can't believe a movie like that broke into my top 5 that came out in 2022. 2, this is the guilty pleasure. Kind of. I'm not ashamed of it, but it is bizarre. It's Zack Snyder's Watchmen. Specifically the director's cut. Specifically the director's cut. Holy fuck. And I'm a giant fan of the book. Like, I'm a fan of the novel. I think there were some creative choices that I prefer to the novel in that movie. Like, this movie gives me such a fucking vibe, dude. I mean, it's hard to fuck up Watchmen when you're just doing... I mean, obviously in the extended universe, Watchmen is shit. But, like, it's hard to fuck up the story of Watchmen. It's great. There's a lot of philosophical context to it. It's a giant, sprawling political drama.
I gotta find the photo and post it of us at Halloween.
Yeah. I dressed as Silk Spectre for Halloween once, and you were the day man from It's Always Sunny.
I was the night. No, I was the day man. I was the day
So
man. Fighter of the night man. Champion of the sun.
So good. But yeah, I think the director's cut nailed it. There were beautiful scenes. I think his slow-mo worked for the almost like it was almost like adding a tongue-in-cheek element to Watchmen that is in the book, but it's a little bit more extreme in the movie because Zack Snyder is a fucking cheese lord. So it's like, but it added this. I don't know. It was beautiful. I love that movie. I think the acting is really fucking good too. It's a little on the nose, but I think that works for it. I love the music in it. Tyler Bates, one of the greatest composers. Fucking love the song "I Love You" by Tyler Bates off of the Watchmen soundtrack. I listen to that song on a weekly basis. That song is fucking great. It's like a shoegaze post-rock anthem. So goddamn good. Watchmen's number 2. My number 1 favorite movie of all time, Drive by Nicholas Winding Refn. Nicholas Winding Refn's my favorite director of all time. I think Drive is a perfect movie. I think Drive is everything I love about movies. It is the ultimate aesthetic, the ultimate vibe. The lights hypnotize me. The music is perfect. It introduced me to a new genre of music that I now love very dearly. The acting is so good. It's a very Shakespearean type of movie. It's very like tragic, you know, in aesthetic. It's super tragic, and it's all about wanting to be a hero and being mesmerized by the things you can't have, the life you want to live, the type of person you want to be, and being held back by the grime of the life you are currently in. And you get so desperate wanting to escape that you become capable of horrible violence. You know, some of it is justified, some of it is questionable. And the whole movie is that beautiful, violent character study, but under just saturated, self-indulgent synth and fucking neon lights for no reason. And it's so beautiful. And the LA River has never looked more appetizing than in this film. I went to LA for the first time. The first time I went to LA, I went to the LA River with the picture of it from Drive in my head, and I was like, "That's nasty. Yeah, that's gross." But Nick Refn made it look
fish from
like
Futurama
heaven.
are in there. The fucking 3-eyed mutant fish.
Nick Refn has not made anything I dislike. I love his art very dearly, and I think he has such an interesting view of humanity, and he portrays it in such a colorful and like fetishized way. Like he's just like he's
Fetishized,
obsessed with certain aspects.
It's
of
like
the
it's
human.
like watching a metaphorical stripper. It's like watching a strip club. It's like being inside a strip club filled with the most beautiful paintings you've ever seen.
Yes.
That's what I was trying. I was circling around some.
Because there's
there.
dense.
That's where.
Like
That's it.
There's philosophically dense shit in all of his work, but it's painted in this like very self-indulgent, just super aesthetic way.
It's like if the Mona Lisa, instead of its frame, had those fucking RGB neon lights in every fucking freshman at ASU's room.
I agree.
And
he's been, like I also think there's a bit of a sub commentary about toxic masculinity and Drive, and I
absolutely,
think which is phenomenal.
Speaking of, after my top 3, we have to talk about American Psycho.
Oh my god!
And I have a special guest to call.
Okay, all right, cool.
I have a special guest to call, but is it